Work-from-home payroll specialist jobs are one of those careers you don't hear people brag about at parties. But if payroll stops working, the party ends immediately. Because payroll isn't just sending money, it's accuracy, compliance, timing, and trust, every single pay cycle. And in 2026, as more companies operate across states and time zones, remote payroll work isn't slowing down. If anything, it's becoming more valuable, because the systems are more complex and the stakes are higher. So, what exactly is a work-from-home payroll specialist? In plain terms, you're the person who makes sure employees get paid correctly and on time, while the company follows the rules: taxes, deductions, benefits, garnishments, reporting, all of it. The role can sit inside HR, finance, or a payroll provider, but the mission stays the same: protect the paycheck. Now, people sometimes assume payroll is easy because software exists. And yes, payroll tools have improved. But software doesn't replace judgment. It doesn't catch every exception. It doesn't know when something looks wrong, and it definitely doesn't handle the human side when an employee says, "Hey, my check is short." That's where you come in. Remote payroll is similar to in-office payroll, but it feels different. In an office, you can walk over to HR, ask a manager to approve hours, and fix problems in real time. Remotely, you need tighter processes, clear deadlines, written documentation, and clean communication, because you're not relying on hallway conversations. Your day-to-day responsibilities usually include collecting and verifying time data, reviewing PTO and overtime, processing payroll runs weekly or bi-weekly, managing deductions for benefits and retirement, handling payroll tax requirements, and reconciling reports after payroll is processed. And if you're wondering why demand is rising for remote payroll specialists, it's simple. Workforces are distributed now. Companies are hiring across multiple states, sometimes multiple countries. That means multi-state taxes, different compliance rules, varying leave policies, and more complexity at every step. Payroll becomes less admin work and more risk management. One missed deposit or incorrect filing can cause penalties. One payroll error can cause panic. And this is also why payroll specialists who understand systems and process controls can become extremely valuable. Now let's talk salary, because this is where many people get curious. Payroll specialist pay varies by location, experience, and complexity. In 2026, many roles land around the mid-five figures into the low six figures. A common real-world range you'll see is roughly $55,000 to $70,000 for many payroll specialist jobs, with higher pay. If you're handling multi-state payroll, union environments, complex benefits, audits, or global payroll. Entry-level roles, sometimes titled payroll coordinator, can start lower. But once you prove you can run clean payroll cycles with minimal corrections, the value jumps quickly. Senior payroll specialists or payroll analysts often earn more because they handle reconciliations, reporting, audits, and system improvements, not just processing. So what skills actually get you hired? First, communication. Payroll is sensitive. You need to explain issues clearly without adding stress. And you need to communicate proactively, not after the deadline, but before it. Second, payroll systems and HRS tools. Employers love candidates who can say, "I've used ADP," or "I've worked in Workday," or "I'm familiar with UKG, Paylocity, Rippling, or Gusto." Even if you haven't mastered every system, showing you can learn platforms quickly matters. Third, spreadsheets. Excel still powers payroll workflows behind the scenes more than people admit. Knowing how to check data, compare payroll registers, spot variances, and reconcile reports can be the difference between candidate and hire. And finally, remote productivity. This job is deadline-driven. If you can manage cutoffs, maintain checklists, document your process, and keep everything organized without supervision, you're already ahead. Now, where are these jobs actually hiring? You'll often find remote payroll roles through payroll providers and HR tech companies like ADP, Paychex, Workday, UKG, Paylocity, Rippling, Gusto, and Intuit. You'll also see remote payroll hiring in global payroll platforms like Deal, Remote, or Papaya Global. And larger HR services or PEOs like TriNet and Insperity can be strong options too. But just knowing companies isn't enough. You need the right strategy to find and win the role. For job hunting, big boards like LinkedIn, Indeed, and Glassdoor are still important. But remote-specific boards can increase your signal. That's why many candidates focus on remote-friendly platforms and build alerts for payroll specialist, payroll coordinator, payroll analyst, and payroll tax roles. Then comes the getting hired part. Your resume needs to show scope and outcomes, not just duties. Instead of saying processed payroll, you say processed bi-weekly payroll for 600 employees across 10 states, or reduced payroll corrections by improving time card validation steps. Those details instantly raise your credibility. In interviews, you'll almost always get asked, walk me through your payroll process. They want structure, cutoffs, validation, preview register, variance checks, approvals, submit, post-payroll reconciliation. If you can explain that calmly, like you've done it 100 times, you'll stand out fast. Of course, there are pros and cons. The pros: stability, demand, remote-friendly workflows, and a clear path to senior roles. You're doing essential work that every company needs. The cons: pressure during payroll deadlines, high responsibility, and the reality that mistakes are visible, because mistakes show up in someone's pay. But if you like structure, systems, checklists, and precision, payroll can be a genuinely rewarding remote career. And the future outlook? Payroll is evolving, not disappearing. Routine tasks may get automated, but complexity is growing. Multi-state rules, system integrations, compliance, and audit controls. The people who understand payroll deeply aren't getting replaced. They're getting promoted. So if you're considering a work-from-home payroll specialist job in 2026, the opportunity is real. And the career path is stronger than most people realize.